A bitter storm howled across the frozen plains of Montana, burying everything in its path beneath a thick blanket of snow. 3 ranchers, Dave, Carl, and Nate, were driving along the fence line, searching for missing cattle, when something strange caught their eye. A dark shape lay motionless in the snow. At first, they thought it was just another casualty of winter, but as they got closer, what they found made them freeze in shock. If you're watching this, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below. We got an incredible story about survival, sacrifice, and the kind of love that defies nature itself. Here's what really happened. The wind screamed like a wild beast. The snow came down in sheets, biting at their skin. Dave, the oldest of the 3 with 40 years of ranch life etched into his face, squinted through the glass. "There," Nate said, pointing ahead. "What is that?" Dave slammed on the brakes. Through the frost-covered windshield, they could make out the form of a large animal lying still in the snow. It wasn't one of their cows. It was a wild Mustang, a tall black stallion, half buried in snow, barely breathing. They stepped out into the cold, boots crunching on the icy ground. The horse was alive, but not moving. His eyes were wide, alert, and locked onto them. "Why isn't he trying to get up?" Carl asked, kneeling cautiously. Dave circled around. The snow near the horse's back legs was disturbed, slightly sunken under his body. Something was off, and then they noticed it. A patch of brown, fur peeking out from beneath him. "What the—" Nate whispered. They thought it was another horse. Maybe a mare, maybe a younger one. But as the stallion shifted slightly, letting out a pained grunt, the truth hit them all at once. It wasn't another horse at all. It was a baby, a foal, barely weeks old, tiny, helpless, and unconscious. The stallion had collapsed on top of it, not by accident, by choice. He'd used his own body as a shield, risking everything to keep the foal warm in the deadly storm. Dave dropped to his knees. "He's protecting it," he whispered. "This whole time, he's been protecting it." Carl pulled out his phone. No signal. No help for miles. Just the 3 of them, an injured stallion, and a freezing baby horse clinging to life. Miguel, who knew horses better than most, checked the stallion's condition. He was hypothermic, injured, bleeding, and yet he hadn't moved. Even now, even with humans nearby, he stayed low, guarding the foal like a lion protecting its cub. "We can't move him," Nate said. "Not without hurting both of them." Dave looked at the truck. "Then we don't move them. We build a shelter right here." Carl stared at him. "Are you serious? Out here? In this weather?" Dave nodded. "He won't leave her, so we stay too." They raced back to the truck. Tarps, blankets, medical supplies. Anything they could use to create a barrier against the storm. They built a makeshift tent using the truck as a windbreak. Snow flew around them. But they didn't stop. Inside, Miguel approached the stallion slowly, whispering soft words. "Easy, big guy, easy." The stallion watched him, tired but still protective. Then a sound came from beneath him, a soft, weak whimper. Just hearing it brought tears to their eyes. That tiny voice meant she was still alive. Nate wrapped the foal in a blanket. Her body was ice cold, her breath shallow. She hadn't eaten in days. "She's dehydrated," Miguel said, checking her over. "But she's fighting." Dave turned to the stallion. "You did good, buddy. You saved her." But the stallion was fading fast. While Miguel worked on warming up the foal, Dave tried something unexpected. He opened a bag of grain and laid it out in front of the stallion, away from the foal. The horse sniffed the air, hesitated, then took a slow, painful step forward. "That's it," Dave encouraged. "We're here to help." It was a small moment, but it changed everything. With the stallion distracted, Carl gave the foal warm milk replacer. She drank greedily. For the first time since finding them, there was hope. Then Tom returned with help. Dr. Ellie Mae, a vet who specialized in wild horses, led a convoy of rescue vehicles through the storm. When she saw the stallion, she froze. "Is that Shadow?" she asked in disbelief. She flipped through a weathered notebook. "Shadow's been known for years. He's an old leader of the herd. Biologists call him the guardian. He saves foals who lose their mamas. They read further. Shadow was 22 years old, ancient for a wild horse. 2 days ago, the foal's mother had been killed in a cougar attack. Shadow fought the predator off. The claw marks on his body told the story of that fight. He must have known he wouldn't survive the journey, but he chose to protect her anyway. The team worked fast. For fluids for Shadow, warmth and food for the baby. Her name, they learned, was Luma. Shadow stirred. With the last of his strength, he stood and gently nudged Luma toward the humans. A silent message. She's yours now. As dawn broke, the storm began to lift. Golden light spilled over the snow. Shadow laid his head down. His breathing slowed. Dave knelt beside him. You did it, boy. You saved her. With one final, strong call that echoed across the valley, Shadow let go. He passed peacefully, surrounded by those who understood what he'd done. Luma survived. Thanks to him. Thanks to them. Months later, Dave got a video from the sanctuary. Luma had grown stronger, healthier, happier, and already she was doing the same thing Shadow had done, standing guard over a new orphan foal, refusing to leave its side. The legacy lived on. Some animals are born guardians. Some learn. But every act of love, no matter how small, creates a ripple. Love has no limits. Not even death can stop it. If you feel the same, give this video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it today. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in their place? Thank you for watching. Stay kind. Stay brave.